Hi friends, this is Caitlin. Today we're going to be making a super fun Fawn Crafty Christmas platform pop-up card. Sometimes I share cards with you so that I can show a technique or a new product, and sometimes my videos are simply driven by the fact that my heart wants to create, and that is what happened today. I am a huge fan of the Fawn platform pop-up dies. I've made pretty much a card for every season with these, and so my soul was being driven to create this crafty Christmas themed little platform pop-up. So that is exactly what we're doing today. I am combining images from the Just Add Glitter stamp set as well as the Merry Mice stamp set. And we're going to be using that stamp set definitely a little differently than it was intended. That one was originally created to be a light up set, which is when I bought it with the Chibitronics, which is so cute. We're also grabbing a couple snowflakes from one of the other sets. I'll have it listed down in the description box below for you, but definitely search through your stash for some tiny little image. I just added a snowflake in gray ink to my little greeting card just to kind of change it up and keep it fun. So I'm going in now with my coloring, and I'm starting out with my table. I have all of the caps on the screen for you. I will try to make sure that I have everything listed down in the description box below for you as well. And my format today is a little different than normal, and just so you know, I love being transparent with you guys. This week and this season in general has been a little bit hectic and a little bit overwhelming. I don't know about you, but it feels like Christmas just snuck up on me. I know it's literally the same day every year, but I feel like it was July and then I blinked and now Christmas is next week. So in my feeling of overwhelm, I was not super excited to make a card video this week. Not because I didn't want to create, but because it just felt so overwhelming. And so what I did this week was different than normal. I started out by just telling myself, just color. Just sit down, color, film your coloring, stamp your images, get them done. And then if you don't feel like putting everything together, then just take a break. So that's what I did. I colored one night, I took a break, and then I came back the next day and I put everything together. And I love how it turned out. I didn't get frustrated with the process at all. I think it's important sometimes for us to remember that, you know, especially when it's something where we're putting pressure on ourselves, to cut ourselves a break. You know, as long as the video is done and I'm happy with it, does it matter if I shot it all in one night? No. If I didn't tell you guys on here, would you know? Probably not. So why stress about it? Why feel like we have to force something or meet an expectation that isn't based on anything, right? Okay, that's it. I'm getting off my soapbox. Just, you know, remember to give yourself a break. Enjoy, you know, some free time when you can. And if that means coloring, great. If that means card making, great. And if it means sitting on the couch and mindlessly flipping through TikTok or Netflix, then that's okay too. So I colored in all of my little crafty bits and my tree, and now I'm moving on to my mice. I tried to create a very limited color palette here. I did know before I started coloring that I wanted to use craft and a very neutral pattern paper for my actual card base, and so I did want to bring in some pops of color, but I also didn't want to do anything too crazy or, you know, neon. I love bright colors normally, but for this card, I really wanted it to kind of have that warm and cozy Christmas feeling to it. So now flash forward to the next day. I did all my die cutting. I grabbed this beautiful cream with the gold foil dots from the Let It Shine paper pack. And then from a piece of Nina Desert Storm cardstock, I cut 2 of that big platform, 3 of the T's, and then this little bow with the inside, all from Craft. And then I die cut all my images and just set them into one of my little Twiddler's Nook trays. I love these things. I have 3 of them now, and I love using them as little like pinch pots to hold my die cuts as well as my embellishments when I'm adding on like sequins or rhinestones. So the first thing you want to do with the platform pop-up is go through and reinforce all of your score lines. Sometimes I do find this is a little hard. I think because it's probably my fault. I'm sure that my plates are getting old and too like warped and crazy. So, but even then I find that as long as I take my time and don't force the paper, I get a pretty good fold that I can reinforce with my bone folder. So I stuck that first T up through that little slot in the top. I'm going to use some, I think this is 1/4 inch double-sided tape. And you add it to the tab, get everything nice and straight, and then you just tuck it in. You just fold it over and it tucks right in. Make sure that everything feels like it's lining up correctly. And then you do the same thing with that bigger tab on the actual platform. This pick that I use in all of my videos, I don't know if I've talked about it before, is actually from the dollar store. It's from Dollar Tree. They still sell them. I use it every single time I craft. Every single time. For $1. Well, I got it when it was $1. Now it would probably be $1.25, but probably the best investment, least expensive and best impact investment I've made in my craft stash is this pick, because I can use one side to press down and make sure that my adhesive is attached firmly, and then use the other side to pick off the paper. You guys know, if you've watched my videos before, that I have been doing my own nails. I love doing my nails. They do not allow me to pick off things like double-sided tape, backing paper very easily. So now that I have my 2 sides of my platform ready, I trimmed off the bottom tab from this middle T, and we're just going to line it up in the center as close as we can and with the bottom of that platform. Then I add the double-sided tape as much as I can. So for this one, it's 3 strips, and you just want to go up right to the edge where you know that it's going to create that floor. And I'm also adding tape to both tabs so that once we get everything lined up and ready to go, it is easy peasy. It's harder to add the tape once, you know, things are starting to get folded. So I line up one side with the tab, just making sure the scallops are nice and lined up. Take off the paper, and I just like to take my time making sure that my 2 bottom platform areas line up really nicely. Peel off that last tab and close the circle. And then that is the platform done. For this one, I did use the add-on die that has the cute little backdrop. I wanted it to kind of look like very neutral wallpaper, so I grabbed that cream card pattern paper, and I'm going in with 1/8 inch double-sided tape for this one. I am not positive. I think I got this one from Honeybee Stamps. I will double check and put it down in the description. This tape is amazing. It's so good. So I'm adding in my little papers, my cardstock papers, to the top of the table. I'm getting my little Crafty mouse adhered to her chair. Sometimes I feel like my glue comes out a little too fast, so instead of wiping it and leaving it kind of on my fingers so my fingers are sticky, you'll see a couple times I either tap off the extra glue into the bottom of my little glue holder, which is from Makeup by Marco, and I love, or I will just wipe it literally on my other hand so that it's out of the way. And then, you know, it's all washable glue, so it's fine. I cut an extra little slit in between the legs of the table so that I could set it with with the legs going on either side of that little T tab that's sticking up from our platform. And I'm using liquid glue for everything that's adhering to the actual T's, and I'm going to use the double-sided tape, the 1/4 or 1/8 inch double-sided tape, for anything that's going on another die cut, just so that I wouldn't have to worry about holding it in place or it wiggling around while the liquid glue dried. So I added on my little mouse with his Christmas star. I wanted it to kind of look like she's busy crafting and he jumped up on her craft table and just knocked all of her stuff out of the way so that he could race to put this star on the tree. And she's just over it. She's not moving. She's making her card and she's staying put, and he's not going to push her out of the way. So that's the story I told myself with this one. I added some adhesive to that little card that I tucked it a little bit like she's kind of holding it up onto the table, and then all my other little elements are going to go on the floor on that tab in front. I do believe you still technically need the back T. I think that's a little bit for structure. It might not be. You could have probably just skipped that back. I could have probably skipped that back T because I'm not putting anything on it for decoration. I know I've skipped the middle T when building these before, so you can always take that out if you aren't going to use it. But it feels structurally like it's doing something when you pop them up. So I don't know. Maybe try it out. If you try it out, let me know. Or if I try it out, I will update you guys in a future video. So I'm adding in the little presents, and then the crafty items I grabbed were the ink, the glitter, and a bottle of glue. And so I'm just kind of setting those up right along the bottom. I wanted some of them to be kind of tipped over, so it really looked like they all just kind of got brushed off the table. And this was just so cute. Every once in a while, I'll close the card and give it a good squish to make sure that everything is down and adhered into place where I want it to be. Then I added the center to my bow. I added some double-sided tape to the back, and I am going to pop that right at the top of my card base. Technically, this will mean that it needs to go into a slightly bigger envelope, but I usually send my pop-up platform cards in a bigger envelope anyway, with just some extra cardstock to help hold it in place. So I grabbed my wavy banner dies, the Christmassy ones, or my wavy banner dies, and then the Christmas wavy banner sentiments. And with these sentiments, because you need to die cut them first and then add your sentiment, I like to kind of create an extra little rectangular box out of my cardstock to cut it from, that I can then put into the corner of my Misty so that I know everything will stay lined up. And then you can see I just use a little bit of washi tape to help hold my kind of outline in place. It just makes it a lot easier than trying to fight with, you know, little fiddly pieces that like to stick to the stamp. So I'm adding that thicker tape to the back of my sentiment, and I'm making this so that when the card is flat, the sentiment is flat, and when the platform is popped up, the edges of the banner hang over off onto the side. So I didn't put tape all the way across. I left those ends free. And then I decided that it wouldn't make sense for my little mouse to be adding a star to the tree with so much excitement when there weren't any ornaments on the tree. And there are ornaments in this stamp set, but at this point I was like, nope, it needs more sparkle. So I grabbed the Sparkle All the Way confetti mix from This Calls for Confetti, and I brought out my little confetti cachet to show you. It's so cute. I absolutely love it. I'm gonna try using it for a little longer to make sure that I feel like I've really mastered it and how to store things and deciding on sizes and stuff like that before I do an official review with you guys. But so far I'm loving it. So I grabbed the smallest size of the sequins out of this mix, and I'm just adding 5 of them to my tree for a little bit of extra sparkle and shine, but still staying with my neutral colors. So this card just makes me so happy. It's so cute. It's simple, it's clean, but it makes me smile. So I hope that you are having an amazing week. I hope that you remember to take some time for yourself, whether that is crafting or not. I hope that you have an amazing weekend. Happy crafting, and thanks for being here.